Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We back. More casual, man. We got animals, diseases that belong in a horror movie. What animal are you thinking about? You got one? You ain't got nothing. You ain't never seen a raccoon foaming at the mouth?
Have you? Have you?
You never know.
No.
Oh, think about a rat. What kind of disease? We're going to be in for a long one today, man. Ooh, just think about the diseases, animals. Ooh. I ain't here for it today, man. With that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and start this one up so we can get through it fast, quick, man. Make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want the first part, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Ooh, C. You ready?
I'm ready.
A, B, C, C, C. E, F, G.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Spooky season. You knew this was coming. We're always talking about all the ways nature and the things in it can put you on a shirt, but we never talked about how diseases can have animals permanently parallel to the ground. So that's what this video is, animal diseases that are rated R, for the regret I feel when I see what researching them has done to my search history. And of course, viewer discretion is very much advised, especially for disease number 1. What's a Halloween video without a jump scare? This photo was taken just outside the Caribbean Bay Hotel in Zimbabwe of what appears to be a hairless baboon. The deep-pelted primate appeared to be an outcast, only following her troop from a distance, almost as if she had been rejected for her appearance. And according to a nearby vet, the most likely cause for this abandoned baboon's condition, mange. Mange is a nasty-looking disease caused by parasitic mites burrowing into the skin, where their collective feces can cause severe allergic reactions and an unbearable amount of itching. That's why the main calling card of mange is turning animals into the most down bad version of themselves. And while the word mangy is usually an insult reserved for dogs, these mites can be a certainty from anything from foxes, to bears, to porcupines, occasionally birds like eagles, and many, many more. In fact, the legend of the chupacabra was more than likely jump-started by a severely mited up coyote. And in 1996, there was an outbreak of sarcoptic mange that griefed a family of mountain gorillas in Uganda, even expiring one of their babies. The mites themselves aren't a death sentence, but they slowly weaken the target, making them much more vulnerable to infections. And they can easily spread, especially if you're a wombat whose burrow mates with a walking mite mosh pit. The mites are so persistent that in Pennsylvania, a black bear with more than 50% hair loss is considered a lost cause, and not only is it retired from life, it's also incinerated so the past tense bear can't possibly infect any others.
You getting itchy? Just watching this shit, you don't feel like the itchy?
No.
Man.
Not really.
That's where we get that mangy at. Mangy. Remember, you ain't never heard somebody call somebody mangy? Mangy bald-headed ass. I have. It's an old.
And yes, mange is zoonotic, meaning it can be passed on from animals to humans, and when that happens, it's called scabies. To be fair, it's normally easy to treat in people, but those with weak immune systems or those taking immunosuppressants can find themselves gatekept from a life of comfort. There's also Demodex mites, which shack up in hair follicles, and even a couple species that make their home in the human eye. So yeah, mange just might be the most aesthetically upsetting ailment here. The polar opposite of the next disease, because where mange is visually visceral, zoochosis is almost purely psychological. You've probably heard of the condition where animals in captivity do the same thing over and over with no goal or purpose, almost like they're in a trance, and one of the most popular examples of this are those videos of elephants swaying back and forth. Except zoochosis is much more than that. Of course, you have your swaying and almost neurotic pacing around their enclosure. But the zoochosis signature also includes excessive grooming, personal punishment like self-biting and self-mutilation, turning puke into an infinite food glitch, and coprophagia, even in animals that wouldn't normally do it. But the disturbing part is, like Mange, it's believed that zoochosis can also be contagious. If an animal is housed next to one exhibiting the stereotypes associated with it, chances are that same animal will too. This captive psychosis is likely triggered by a lack of stimulation and enrichment, and is more common in higher intelligence animals, especially those that would normally have a wider range. Elephants checking both boxes is likely why 40% of captive turned pachyderms show symptoms of zoochosis. Orcas are one of the smartest non-human creatures alive and can travel well over 40 miles a day for food. And almost a year ago today, in 2022, a captive orca named Hugo tragically resigned from reality after violently slamming into his tank wall until he suffered a life-ending aneurysm. And in 2005, a mother hamadryas baboon groomed her baby so excessively that he looked like he came out the womb beefing with wizards. To be fair, we can't really prove that this was zoochosis working overtime, but bro got the Mr. Clean Cut. That ain't a fade, it's a flea. But the most popular and probably most depressing case of chosis was Gus. Gus was a polar bear that lived in Central Park Zoo for 25 years. At one point, visitors and keepers noticed that Gus would spend all day swimming in figure eights, sometimes for up to 12 hours straight. Keep in mind that polar bears can cover nearly 50 miles in a day searching for seals. Not only did the zoo spend 25 grand on therapy for the bear, Gus went on to make history as the very first zoo animal to be put on Prozac. Speaking of which, the 25,000 bones of behavioral therapy basically amounted to the therapist saying, "It be like that." This isn't an anti-zoo video or me trying to morally grandstand to y'all. I think zoos have the potential for a lot of good and a lot of bad. It's just that the bad can lead to a chronically pilled out polar bear. But wait, it gets darker, because with
I guess humans ain't the only one get high as a kite. You know, we already had cocaine bear. Yeah, we ain't never talk about what's the pig he was on? Damn, you fucked up my pun. I couldn't think of it.
I ain't messed it up. You messed it up
So I
yourself.
said we heard it, but I was like, it ain't Percocets. It's damn. Can't damn. It was said we done heard of cocaine bear about. If it was Percocets, I was like, we ain't never heard about no bear on Percs. I know they
Go back and see what it is.
the bad can lead to a chronically pilled out polar bear. But wait, it gets darker, because with how far removed humans have gotten from nature, there's a legitimate fear that humanity as a whole could be suffering from zoochosis on a global scale. That joke about us being no different than ants stuck in a death spiral becomes less and less of a joke as time goes on. Do you remember the Will Smith movie I Am Legend? You know, before his wife publicly neutered him and then smoked both his family jewels in 2 packs? Well, the post-apocalyptic movie started with a doctor attempting to re-engineer the measles virus in an attempt to find a cure for cancer, instead infecting 99% of the human race. A pretty good example of what can happen when humans try to play God with the natural order. Another example is what happened in Florida, specifically Silver Springs State Park. It's Florida's very first tourist attraction, famous for having a couple Tarzan movies shot there. And in the 1930s, tourboat operator Colonel Toohey was looking for a way to spice up his jungle cruise ride. So he brought in 6 rhesus macaques and had them placed on a small island in the park. And it was at this moment, they f***ed up. Apparently, nobody involved was told that the monkeys could swim, and the moment they touched down on dry land, the macaques proceeded to swim out to the mainland. And following lots of multiplying without a calculator, there are now currently hundreds of rogue macaques, with a good number of them carrying a deadly herpes virus. Herpes B is an incapacitating condition that can cause severe brain inflammation, permanent neurological damage, and a permanent lease in a casket-shaped condo. Now, fear-mongering aside, the chances of catching it from a monkey are incredibly rare, but not rare enough to be zero. In 1997, a researcher was working with a rhesus when she was splashed in the eye by indeterminate fluids. Even after immediately flushing her eye out for several minutes, the 22-year-old died December 10, 1997, almost exactly 6 weeks after first being exposed. According to the Center of Disease Control, since 1932, there have been 51 cases of people being infected with the B virus, with 21 deaths and an 80% mortality rate for those untreated. That same fatal virus is currently being backpacked by up to a quarter of the hundreds of macaques running around the Sunshine State. Worse, it's believed they shed the potent virus through their saliva. So far, there's no known case of one of these Marion County monkeys passing off the virus to a human. The problem is, the monkeys have managed to lose their natural fear of humans, and there was even one incident where the park had to be shut down after a family was threatened and chased by an especially malicious macaque. It's the worst kind of invasive, and it's 100% our fault, and although the virus peddling primates haven't caught a human body, it's definitely one of those cases of F around and find out.
All you gotta do is go in there. Pop, 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 pop.
That show was off for everything. My goodness.
They fuck around with the right one, they gonna find out. I'm telling you, bruh. You see how they just chase that food? Like, bitch, what you doing on my this my turn. You said tripping cuz. You on the wrong. Him stay over there. They ain't allowed over here. Who the dumb fuck to even bring them to the land?
They was like, we trying to...
It's always that one dummy that want to experiment with some dumb shit and got us all on lockdown and some shit. You know what I'm saying? All because your idiotic thinking. Well, you know what'd be good? We have some free roaming monkeys. Bitch, what the hell? We can make some good money.
That's crazy.
Now we got some.
To get a people a show. They gave you a show, all right.
They gonna keep giving y'all that show year after year, cause y'all fuck with them. Y'all really gonna find out if y'all don't come strapped. They go out there with the zapping joint, the stun stick. Every time I run out, get your head back now. I ain't gonna shoot you.
We don't condone this. I definitely don't.
Get your head. You see, I got the foul.
You ain't gonna hurt them. You just gonna scare them with it.
They run up real quick.
Right.
Because my thing is, if they carrying it in their mouth, we don't know if they actually spit. They could be spitting on people on purpose.
You think they like, yeah, we infected, we gonna get everybody? You think that's what's going on?
Man, they smart.
Yeah, they really smart.
They probably know what they got. They like, yeah, we got this shit. I got that pack on me, bro. Yeah, get back.
That's assault.
That is assault.
Yeah.
You got assaulted by a monkey.
One of the most unsettling diseases in nature is a sickness that affects deer, known as chronic wasting disease, called so because it essentially destroys the animal from the inside out. In fact, this type of disease is a transmissible spongiform encephalopathy, a name that literally comes from the fact that it causes several sponge-like holes in the brain. It's like the forbidden final boss of trypophobia, and it's caused by a single misfolded protein known as a prion. This prion triggers a chain reaction where the only outcome is a canceled life subscription, and the only thing the victim can do is wait for the sweet release of death. Here's what the endgame of a deer with CWD looks like. It starts with a misfolded protein affecting and altering perfectly normal proteins. It's almost like a cellular level cheese touch, and the moment it starts, it's already over. Step 2 includes the prions exploding in numbers exponentially and accumulating in the body, the whole time the deer, elk, or moose looks and acts perfectly normal. The deer can walk around with this disease for 2 whole years before the chronic becomes critical. Eventually, it escalates to the point where the prions manage to break into the blood-brain barrier, where they start destroying neurons, putting enough holes in the brain to get it cursed out by an octopus, and slowly wasting the poor, unexpecting deer. Deer with CWD seem unable to process anything around them, including danger, and if predators or playing freeze tag on the freeway doesn't take them off the senses, they die a slow and painful death to starvation as their brains shut down. The worst part is, the nightmare doesn't end once the deer does, since the prions responsible can exist in an area years after the victim, and can even be absorbed by plants in contaminated soil. That's assuming they don't just leach into groundwater. In fact, the only surefire way to eliminate a prion is literally that: fire. Except, it's not as simple as cremating a casualty. That'd be too easy. It's said that it takes heat at a minimum of 900 degrees Fahrenheit or 482 degrees Celsius to properly pack up a prion, and some sources say to hike that up to 1800 to be safe. But the part that makes prions one of the most horrific things not native to a horror movie is where they come from. It's believed there are 3 main factors that cause prion diseases. Genetics play a relatively small part, with only 10 to 15% of cases in people being attributed to them. The second and by far most common cause is the disease being sporadic. Basically, that just means that not even science can fully explain where they come from, but that it's like it happens out of nowhere. And the third is an infected deer contaminating something like a water source or a feeding station with body fluids and passing it off to the next. And remember, not only can prions insist on existing years after the fact, keep in mind that most infected deer look no different from any other right until it's time to disconnect from interface eternally. That means that the three main causes of wasting disease are completely RNG, and that is remarkably terrifying. And it's not just deer that can get packed up by prions. There's mad cow disease in cattle and scrapie in sheep, named after the fact that it can cause them to compulsively rub up against things like fence posts.
But I was thinking about with the deer, like, what if one, like, those who go deer hunting and stuff, what if y'all come across someone that got it? Because they can carry the disease for 2 years. So, you know what I'm saying? People, y'all probably killing them. They ain't gonna take the meat, get the deer meat, right? And then y'all eating it. And it's in the,
in sheep, named after the fact that it can cause them to compulsively rub up against things like fence posts until they literally scrape their wool off. There's even a human equivalent, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And while there's no known reports of a human ever catching CWD, specialists have warned that with the thousands of CWD infected animals eaten by people a year, there's growing concern that the disease may eventually be transmitted to people. But maybe it's still a lot better than the last and, in my opinion, the most horrific disease in this video. Because not only is rabies one of the harshest death sentences nature can serve, it is 100% transmissible to humans. Rabies is said to bury nearly 60,000 people a year, and since the most common way to get it is through dog bites, it's the worst in places with a high stray population. Which is why India, a country that criminalized murking stray dogs, has about 20,000 names crossed off the census a year by rabies. And it's children that are especially at risk, with about 40% of deaths coming from those 15 years old or younger. Here's what it's like to be turned into a statistic by rabies. It starts with the virus entering the peripheral nervous system, usually through a bite. Then, it travels inside you through nerves until it reaches part of the central nervous system, or the spinal cord. From there, it's a straight shot directly to the brain, and at this point, you can start drafting your will cause ain't no way. While you can treat the virus before it reaches the brain, once it does, you're almost guaranteed to become a WUS. The virus then multiplies, then spreads throughout the body, slowly killing you from the brain out. But the underrated and truly sinister aspect of rabies is how it seemingly rewires your brain for its own purposes. One of the telltale signs of rabies is a crippling fear of water, where just the sight or suggestion of it can cause incredibly painful spasms in the throat and larynx. At the same time, the virus attacks the salivary glands, causing excessive drooling and the foaming at the mouth the disease is famous for. And that's because the virus is most concentrated in the mouth, and swallowing or drinking water would dilute it, so the hydrophobia helps keep the mouth and all the nastiness inside as potent as possible. And that's not the only way rabies manipulates its mark. There's believed to be 3 stages of rabies in animals. You got the prodromal stage, and that's where the animal might start showing minor changes in behavior. And then you got the phase likely everyone associates with rabies, the excitative stage. It's been called furious rabies since it's characterized by heightened aggression and random outbursts of violence. Animals that would normally be wary of people, such as foxes, can attack completely out of nowhere with bites. And remember, being a water...
Remember that video?
Yes.
Bruh, she was a warrior that day. She said, not today. I ain't let you...
I wonder, did it ever, like, bite her? Like, get her... Like, actually pierce her skin and stuff.
But when I remember I was talking about foaming in the mouth, I was talking about rabies, though.
Wary of people such as foxes can attack completely out of nowhere with bites, and remember, being a water bigot just makes that bite that much more toxic. And then there's the paralytic or dumb stage, where the animal appears unaware and disconnected from the world around it. This is where you might see a normally introverted mammal show zero fear in humans, but don't be fooled, they're still liable to bite to serve the virus's purpose. The nightmare usually ends with the animal flatlining to respiratory arrest as its body finally just gives up. And your fate is almost no better if you're a human, since rabies has one of the highest KD ratios of any disease, even though it's also one of the oldest. It flexes a nearly 100% fatality rate, but nearly means there's still a chance. In 2004, 15-year-old Gina Giese contracted rabies after being infected by a bat, and the moment she started experiencing symptoms, she was, statistically speaking, a walking corpse. Dr. Willoughby, who had studied up on rabies, figured their last chance was to put the teenager in a coma in a last-ditch effort to save her brain and give her body a reasonable chance to fight off the virus. About a week after she was induced, Gina miraculously started producing rabies antibodies, and after Eurostepping death, she would go through the grueling rehab of relearning how to walk, talk, and even stand. Cause even when you're lucky, it ain't easy being geezy. She became
Just after 10 days? Damn. That's quick. That's a quick like attack. Like rabies, how it attacks the body so fast, like, and you like out of it.
And start
Like that's too fast, man.
walk, talk, and even stand. Cause even when you're lucky, it ain't easy being geezy. She became the first person to ever survive the rabies virus without a vaccination, and even went on to start a family. But don't get it twisted, the Milwaukee protocol that saved her has been used on 41 people, and only 6 have survived. The ones that do still run the risk of waking up severely disabled, which is the best you can do when negotiating with death, since that's exactly what treating rabies is. It's a horrifically debilitating disease, and even though it takes about 1 to 3 months to show symptoms after being infected, there have been cases of people walking around with the virus for 7 years. At the same time, if the virus manages to invade you close enough to your brain, you can easily be down bad less than a week after being exposed. With a virtually 100% kill rate, and the thousands that lose their lives to it a year, it's definitely one of the most unforgiving viruses out there. Which is why the greatest basketball player of all time isn't Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or even Kobe Bryant. It's Manu Ginobili. Because during a Spurs-Kings game in 2009, a bat managed to find its way inside the arena, causing everyone to immediately panic. Until the 6'5" Argentinian backhanded the bat and put it out of commission, and proceeded to help lead his team to a 20-point win, along with a victory by TKO against the bat. One man managed to potentially solo one of the deadliest viruses of all time, and he wasn't even a starter. And you'll never guess what day this happened. Yeah, that's right. Happy Halloween.
I remember watching that game though, and he did that back in the day. That is crazy. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. That was October the 31st.
Yeah.
I just remember him with the bat situation. That is crazy.
And stay safe out there.
That's the thing. It's never zero.
But yeah, that is the truth. It's never. Yeah, I've told you I've came in 2 encounters with bats, and I ain't gonna hold you. If you, it's a weird, very weird and awkward. It was very weird and awkward. I was like, to be that close to a bat, I never thought I would be that close in life to a bat. And it scared the hell out of me. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Woo! That was both times. It was very, very, very scary. I could just I already know for a fact if you had came across a bat.
This ain't about me.
I'm just saying, see.
It's not about me.
Especially when you working. I was working at Amazon. I said, damn, I need to go down this aisle. I went to my little thing. I said, bro.
How long's the bat in there?
Bro, for a while, because it just set.
I'm saying like for like days, or was it?
I don't know. I just saw it in there that one day. And I had to kept trying to reset my thing so it could throw me to the other side. Because I said, bro, I'm not. I said, well, I'm finna just walk off. I said, I'll let it keep me out, sign me out, and then I'll go get another scanner. They're going to throw you on the other side of the building. And you'll have to pick. I said, bro, I'm not walking over here by this bed.
The bill came over there too.
Shit,
I would have
sent
me home.
And you ain't never lied.
Send me home.
Nah, they ain't even got to send me home. You can just walk out. Just be like, hey, I'm finna leave.
I'm going home.
Just clock out and leave.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do. I used to love a little Amazon. Get half a point. Be cool. Half a point.
I'll take the half point because look.
I'll take the half point after 90 days it roll off. So I was like, I'll take the little half point, bro. Shit. Nigga, I'm going home. Fuck them bats, bro.
Do you know anyone who's been bit by a dog? Or any other animal?
Now, bit by a dog personally, remember I told you the little girl next door said she was bit by our dog growing up.
Was she?
Spike.
How you gonna say she said she was? Was she?
I don't believe it because Spike never had bit anyone.
Like
we had Spike.
They got teeth. Look, just because they never bit anyone before don't mean that they won.
But Spike was very aggressive because he was mixed. So he was mixed.
That's why he was aggressive.
No, like he was very playful. I told you, Dalmatian.
So was he? He wasn't aggressive. He was just playful.
He was very hyper. I said that.
Like aggressive is not the right.
But she went over there and because he used to be. So you know my mom's house, right?
He did, but he bit her.
No,
You said he was aggressive. Yeah, he bitter.
He wasn't aggressive. He
You
was
said
hyper.
it. Hyper.
Because when Spike used to get out the fence, he'll take you. But you been in my mom's house, right?
Yeah.
So you know his under the tree, right?
Yeah.
In the doghouse over there still to this day. So he used to be up back there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the little girl went all the way back to back there where he was on the other side of the fence next to it. I'm like, for one, why you all the way back there in the back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then why are you on? He don't even hop on the fence unless you over here.
Maybe he did bite her because she probably caught him off guard or something.
No, she was messing with him.
You think she probably was like hitting on him?
And if he bit her, good riddance. I was just playing, bro.
I ain't said nothing.
But nah, cause they were never like, y'all gonna have to put him down. We was like, no, we're not putting him down because that has never happened. There's been plenty of people who came over there.
So what happened?
Despite they took him to the dog pound. We ended up going to get him back.
They took y'all dog to the dog pound.
Mm-hmm. And we went and got him back.
They came over there and took y'all dog.
I'm talking about they called the dog pound. The dog pound came and got him, and we went up and got him right back. Yeah.
Put my baby down.
Nah.
Tell your child to stay over in her yard. What about that?
But
up to the front.
He lived a long life until, you know what I'm saying, the accident happened. Then he's buried back there.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
Yeah, I had to dig a grave.
Okay, anyway.
I was the pallbearer.
I mean, you was. Did y'all have a look? Y'all sing a little song for him?
My sister. Because it was her dog. My sister boo cried. I said, man, you come on. I said, I need help. He was heavy, bro.
Oh.
I said, I need help putting him in the hole, man. Somebody gonna have to.
I mean, what was he mixed with? What breed?
I said Dalmatian and Border
Collie.
Collie.
Oh, you did say that.
Yeah, I told you. I showed you what he did.
I don't remember. You tell me about so many dogs. Okay, come on.
All right. Y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts
Please
about
do.
it in the comment section. But as always, I do go by the name DJ the Kid. This is.
Here in the coast.
We are. We are.
Had to go and get it. Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back